How's it going, and welcome to the ultimate beginner's guide to good company. We'll be going over everything you need to know to get started in the game, from designing a product to producing it, some logistics stuff, research, business development, pretty much everything. If I do miss anything, just leave a question down in the comments section below and I'll get back to you. So let's not waste any more time and jump in. So first thing we want to do is actually design a product. So we'll head up into the Blueprint Designer, and for this example we'll create new and we'll choose cassette player. Now we do need to choose a case. Each case has a different layout and also a different amount of slots we can use. That's shown by this number on the right hand side here. So we'll go for metal case, I think, for what we need to do. So let's create the product, and we'll take into a page where we can actually start choosing how our product looks. So we can choose the form factor, we can choose the color. Oh, I quite like that. And we can choose the name as well. So it looks like a watermelon, so let's call it the watermelon. What a stupid name, but we'll go with it. So let's head on to the next page, the modules, and this is where we design the internals. So first thing we want to look at here is the expected features. This is dictated by the current market we're in. We'll get to markets a bit later, but at the moment we are requiring sound quality and battery life. You can see these orange diamonds here. These are required features, so if we have any amount of stats in these two, we're good to go. So let's put in a speaker for sound quality. We've got the beeper available. Put one of those in, and for battery life, let's we'll go to batteries. That would probably be the most sensible place. We'll choose a single cell battery, and it's looking good. So this is a viable product because we got the two green diamond ticks here. We are going to ignore style for now. It's a bit out of the scope of the video, but it's a good product. However, we can do much better. We've got a market appeal of 1.7. I said it was a good product. It's not a good product. We want to get that as high as possible because this dictates how much we can sell it for and how many units we'll actually sell. So what we are missing here is more sound quality. As you can see here, the battery life is 0.5 out of 0.5, so we've maxed that out. So let's try and do the same with the sound qualities by adding in another speaker. So let's do that. So there we go, we've maxed out these two requirements, and now we've got a market appeal of 5, so it's all looking good. There is a lot more to designing products, and it gets a little bit more complicated the further you get into the game, so affecting drawbacks will start to take effect, and also you'll get a lot more requirements. However, that is the complete basics of it. So let's finish the design and start producing it. So I'm going to show you how I do it. I feel like this is a pretty good way. You don't really get too lost, because with the more complicated products you can start getting a bit lost with doing stuff. So I like to put down a assembly table first and choose the product we're going to make. So the watermelon. Here we can see the modules we need and the amount of time it's going to take. A very handy tip is use this pin recipe button. This gives you a nice little box down here telling you everything you need to know. And well, it's really good, because we used to have to keep going over here and checking this, but we've got that now, so use it. It's very useful. So first of all, we're going to hire an employee on the assembly table, and also we're going to put a shelf down as well right next to that. We also need to order base materials in, so we'll put one of those pallets down there, and we'll also need to sell our final product, so we'll put another one down for that. So what I like to do is on our courier pallet, we're going to add the rule for the watermelon, which is our product, and we're going to give all of the logistic slots to that. So this pallet now becomes a dedicated sell pallet, and we've got a sell order on that automatically. If you do want to sell modules and stuff, you can add them onto the pallet and then click the sell order, and any extra modules will get sold like that. So that's quite useful if you're running low on cash. We also want to order in base materials, and we'll do that on another pallet. I like to keep things separate, otherwise it just becomes a big mess and really hard to keep track of. So we'll just add these rules on here, and material gets bought in at the end of every day, and you can increase the amount to buy in just by increasing the logistics slots. We'll keep it at 1 slot each for now. I should have mentioned as well, products get sold at the end of every Sunday. So we've got our base materials. What we're going to do now is start our production. So let's head into our table tab, and we're going to choose a tinker table. We'll start doing it up here. So let's choose the single cell battery. That's what we need. This requires chemicals, so let's hire an employee on there and see what happens. So they're going over there, picking up the chemicals and bringing them all the way to the table, crafting a battery, and then basically doesn't know what to do with it because oh, actually no, it does know what to do with it. It takes it right over to this shelf here. Now it's not ideal. We don't want them walking around. We want them at the table actually producing. So this is where our shelves come in. So let's put a shelf down there, and the game will work out automatically what needs to go on this shelf to supply this table. So we need to get chemicals onto this table, onto this shelf, sorry, and then the batteries, when they are made, are going to go onto that shelf. However, how do we move material around? So we need to go into our Workzone tab up here. This is where we can hire logistics employees. So let's hire a logistics employee there, and they'll come in and move the material around. So there we go. It's got some chemicals going over to that shelf, and that will also move the battery back over to this assembly table over here. So batteries are looking good. As a rule of thumb, when it comes to how many tables you need, I like to keep it simple by doing the same amount of tables as the amount of modules that you need. So we are going to be doing 2 tables for beeper, 1 for single cell battery, and 1 for metal case as well. So that's a nice simple way of thinking about it at the start. We can go a bit more in depth later on. So the next thing we are going to do is start making the metal case. So we're going to put down a table there, choose the metal case, and we need metal and plastic parts. So metal is a base material. We've got that coming in over here. However, plastic parts are a component, and we need to make those first as well. So components are items you make to build modules, and then modules are the things that go into the product. So let's hire a worker on this table here, and we'll put down another tinker table producing the plastic parts, and hire someone on there. We are going to use a shelf as well. We're going to use the corner shelf now. The corner shelf is really useful for making compact and efficient designs. So as you can see there, you've got 3 arrows pointing towards the shelf. These are where the employees can access the shelf from. So let's whack that there, and that covers both standing places of the table. So these employees over here won't have to move at all. So plastic parts are being made, they'll go onto the shelf, and then this worker here will be able to pick up what it needs and start making the metal case. So there are a few things to take into consideration when it comes to the crafting duration of each module. This here only counts the time at the table. It doesn't include walking time or picking up material time. So just keep that in mind when you are if you are running short of modules and stuff. It may be because walking time's too long or picking up time's too long. Anyway, we're gonna be doing the the beeper now. I've done the single cell battery. We'll tick the metal case off down there. So let's go ahead and select the beeper. There we go. Hire an employee as well. Move that slightly. And like I said, we're going to do 2 tables for the beeper because our product uses 2 beepers. So let's do that. And we need the coils and plastic. So coils again is a component. So let's go ahead and place one of those down, and we'll do a little bit of quick maths here just to make sure our production is up and running properly. Before we do that, let's do a corner shelf. Again, the corner shelf, it is very useful. All 3 of these tables can access this shelf now. So like I said, a little bit of quick maths. This is going to produce 5 coils in say 1 day, and these beepers need 2 coils every 1 day. So we've got 2 tables, so we're going to need 4 coils a day. This table is going to be able to supply that. So we've got 5 coils being made per day. So that is our production, our module production up and running for that, and it's going well at the moment. So let's go ahead over to our assembly table and we'll have a look what's going on here. As you can see, we've only got a small shelf next to this assembly table, and it's not ideal because there's only 3 slots for the watermelon. So we're going to change that, and we'll put down another shelf, and here we can actually use our override storage. This is really useful when it comes to the assembly place. So we want to input our modules from this shelf here and output the final product onto this shelf here. And as you can see, the game has now designated this shelf as an input, and this one is where the product will end up, and then our logistics employee will move them over to our pallet. Talking about logistics employees, let's head into our work zones and hire a couple of more. A couple of more is not a sentence, but we'll go with it. So we've got, not gonna lie, our production is not great at the moment because we're using old tables and we haven't got any Workzone policies, so we do need to speed things up about a bit. So let's head into Workzones again, and this is where we can apply policies. So we can select here. We've got 3 that are useful for what we want to do now. So we can do component output, we can do module output, and we can do product output. This just speeds up things. Also, we can improve the tables, upgrade them, and this will also increase or decrease the production time, I should say. However, how do you get a hold of these new tables? This is where business development comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and click on business development, and this shows us everything that we can unlock, and there's a lot to do, and this includes tables, machines, conveyor belts, policies, loads of things like worker stats, new shelves. There's so much here, but how do you actually unlock them? Well, it will show you on each unlock the amount of points you need. So here we need 150 success points and 500 circular blue research points. A bit further down we need discovery points and success points. So it all comes down to getting the right amount of those. However, how do we get success points? That is a good question. We just head into company goals, and here we go. We've got all of these goals here that allow us to actually earn success points by completing these challenges. You have 90 days to do them. Some of them are fairly hard, some of them are fairly easy. It's just about picking ones that you think you can do. Well, that was a bit lucky, wasn't it? I just selected that one and it worked. So on completion you get the success points that it says down here. Also you get some passive effects that are applied for the remainder of the game, which is really good. So definitely check out the company goals, and can use those success points to buy stuff in the business development. So I unlocked the chemistry table, the basic workbench, and the electronics workbench earlier. So let's go ahead and upgrade our tables. So as you can see, this currently takes about a day to make, so let's upgrade that. It now is basically half the time, so we'll be able to double what our production just by upgrading tables. Now there's other things as well that affect the amount of time it takes, like worker happiness, but we won't touch on that just yet. So let's go ahead and upgrade everything, and this is going to really increase our production. We can also do another assembly table if we wanted to. However, we have got a little bit of a plan for this video. So we're now going to go on to research. So I'm going to quickly go into the work zones and create a new work zone down here. So let's go add a new work zone, and I'm going to create one just there. So this is now a separate work zone to all of this, so we can use different logistics employees and different work zone policies. So this is where really specialising each work zone comes in very handy. So this is going to be a dedicated research area. So let's put some research policies on. We've got research development and analysis organisation. So we'll get onto what those are in a second. So research, if we head to our research tab, we can see what we have available to unlock, and the research points are broken up into 4 tiers. So we've got diamond, circle, triangle and square, or 1, 2, 3, 4 if you want to choose to say it that way. So each different thing needs a different amount of points, and it's just a case of looking to see what you need to unlock them. However, how do you go about getting research points? Well, we need to analyze modules that we build, and that will give us the points required. So we do that on an analysis desk. So let's whack down a couple of those, and we'll give them a shelf next to them so we can store modules on there. And we head into here, and we can choose modules that we want to be able to research, and as you can see, each of them give you a different amount of points. So what are we making? We're making beepers, single cell batteries and metal cases. So let's go single cell batteries and beepers. Let's do that, and we'll hire some workers on there and repeat on the second table. And we also need some research tables, research desks as well. And this is where the research actually happens. So I'll put down, let's put down 3 of those, and we'll hire these guys on here. And the more research desks you have, the quicker the research is going to happen. So let's open a tech tree and choose something that we'll be able to research. Let's do the single jointed segment. So if you're curious, this is my free play Gigafactory. So on the channel we are building a Gigafactory. So if you want to follow along with that series, then well, subscribe and like the video, and you won't miss any future videos. So as you can see, the research is now being used, and we'll be able to have access to a single jointed segment to use in our future products when that's all done. However, as you can see, we've got a little bit of a problem here. These guys are not researching anything because they don't have any modules. So how do we transport modules between work zone? This is where our courier routes come into action. So let's go for a courier pallet. We'll put that down there, and we'll have another courier pallet just here. So we can transport modules between work zones and buildings using the courier routes. So you need a courier pallet on each end of your route that you need, and then we'll go ahead and create this. So what do we need? Batteries and beepers. So let's go and add a rule on here. So batteries and beepers, so wherever they are, there they are. And we'll also put on batteries and beepers over here. Whereabouts is the beeper? There we go. So this should now start filling up with batteries and beepers. The logistics employees should just know to put them on there. We now need to set up a route that brings those products over to this pallet here. So let's go into the courier routes, and this is our little room up here that we're working in. So we're going to go ahead and create a new route, and we're going to select this items to transport button. So we want to transport single cell batteries and the beepers, and then we want to add a courier pallet to the route. So this is going to be our pickup pallet. I like to do it one by one to start with. So pickup pallet, we'll select that and then click on this green up arrow. So that's going to pick up from there. We are now going to add another courier pallet to where we want to go, and we're going to put down on there. And you can add more courier pallets than just 2. You can add, I don't know if there's a limit, but you can add them going all around the place. So in the Gigafactory, I've got a couple of routes here. As you can see, we've got one route going around there, we've got one going up and down, we've got one going all over the place. But we do need to actually employ someone on that route just so they can actually pick up stuff. So let's see, we've got items on our pickup pallet now. They are going to pick them up and transport them over to our new pallet. And we do need a couple of logistics employees on here moving stuff around, so they'll move those over to our analysis desks. So that is basically research. So that's how you get your new modules, and also it's how you get more market discovery points. So if we head back into the research area, as you can see, you get 10 discovery points for doing research on most things. I think pretty much everything is 10 points, apart from these drawback reduction things, which are 5. So this is how we are going to unlock new products to build. So let's go ahead and open up the market overview, and this shows us how our products are faring. So let's go ahead and choose our watermelon on the cassette player, and we can see we are actually selling it at 770G, and we've got potential sales of 67. So that is a weekly demand of 67. However, that is for everyone, so you and your competitors, and also this market phase unit is a sum of you and your competitors in free play. So if we want to sell more, we can just apply a discount. This is only applicable if your market appeal is less than 5. So if you want to bump the market rating back up to 5, put a discount on, and that allows you to use the same product when the phases, the market phases have increased. However, what is a market phase? That's a very good question. So if we increase the market phase, the expected features of our product will go up, so the consumer is going to demand more. We are going to have an increase in weekly demand and an increase in base price. So basically as well, this allows you to sell more product at a higher price. However, they've got to be better products. That is basically the market overview. When we do progress the phase as well, we do get a small amount of discovery points, which I don't know, is a small amount for doing a lot of work, but it's useful, I guess. Any additional points are always welcome, I would say. Let's see how many we're going to sell. So just reached a milestone. I thought we were going to hit the threshold and then we could progress the phase. Maybe we can do that in a bit. Let's head over to Discover New Market, and this is where we can unlock new products. So we have actually got 206 discovery points at the moment, which is pretty decent. So we've got some options to unlock, and as you can see, there's a lot of stuff to unlock. So it's going to be interesting trying to fit all of these into my Gigafactory. However, just to unlock it, just click on the button. Simple as that. Let's go back to our market overview as well, and we'll progress the phase just to give an example of applying a discount and stuff. So there we go, we've hit the amount of units we need to sell to progress the phase. Again, that's a combination of yours and your competitors. You can actually see competitors and stuff in sales and how much money you're making on these handy charts down here. So yeah, let's progress the phase. As you can see, the weekly demand went up, the base price went up as well, the expected features went up, and that caused our market rating to go down. So our potential sales now are 28. So if we produced say 50 every week, we'd only be able to sell 28 at this market rating. So if we go ahead and apply a discount, say 20, that increases our market rating again, and our potential sales go straight back up. So that is basically the market tab, and that is basically it. Now, if you have any questions, and if I haven't covered anything, then please let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. So thank you for watching, stay safe, have fun, I'll see you on the next one.